going to take a drink here, and I'll tell the story. That's not true. I'm out. Yeah, sorry, man. So, I went to the bank yesterday. As you guys know, basically, my mom's estate and having to deal with the aftermath of that has been a, it has been a 12-boss raid, okay? I am still dealing with it, if you can believe that. So I went to the bank in order to talk to them about some stuff that has to do with that. And I went to the same bank from such hit stories as there was one time a redneck that went to that bank, and he, you know the kind of people that talk really loud? Do you know the kind of people that they get really, really loud? Like they have no like vocal control of like how loud they are in a public place? Well, that's how it was. And we're not talking about like a redneck, like, oh, you know, this guy's got a, you know, he's got a hat on with the Confederate flag or something. No, I'm talking about a country bumpkin. I'm talking about overalls that go into pants, and then one of the overalls that are jeans is unbuttoned, and there's a wife beater on that he's wearing underneath it, and it's got stains all over it, okay? That's the kind of redneck we're talking about. And he goes into the bank, and he says, do you guys have $100 bills? He asked them. He asked the bank teller, and they said, yes, sir, we have $100 bills. He says, that's good, because I need some of those right now. And they said, well, that's all right. All right, we're gonna wait to you, and we're gonna get to you, and we're gonna get you your money. He says, that's right, you are. I'm here for my money. And this is the kind of guy who's talking to himself and looking around the room. And what do you do with a person who's talking to every single person who makes eye contact with them? Well, you make eye contact with your phone like your life fucking depends on it. And that's what I did. Until he got up to the teller. He gets up to that teller. And he says, listen, Johnny, I want $1,700 bills. And the bank teller says, sure, sir. Please put in your information, and we'll get you your money right now. And he says, you ain't got a problem with that? You gonna be able to give me that money? He says, yes, sir, I got that money. You have $1,700 bills. The bank teller says, yes. So the guy puts in his account information. The bank teller was quiet. He says, sir, we're not going to be able to get you your $1,700 bills. The guy says, why the hell not? It's my money, ain't it? He says, well, that's not the amount of money that's in your account. And in order to not embarrass this man, he writes down his account balance on a bank slip. And he hands it over to him. He says, here you go. And the guy looks down and he reads it. $17. Well, that's a disappointment. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what happened. It could have been a bug with the account or something like that. So, yeah, we can't get you your money. And he's like, so I only got $17. And he says, yeah. He says, well, shit. And he leaves. So that was the first story. Now, let me tell you what happened yesterday at this exact same bank. I go into the bank, and there's a long line, and there's a lady walking around, stomping around, angry because they won't let her get into her checking account. She was pissed off, she was mad, And guess what she was doing? She was talking loud. She was trying to get attention of anybody at the bank. And finally, one of the people start talking to her. And she says, I'm so worried. I'm so worried. I don't have access to my checking account. But there are people in this bank. Black people in this bank who can get into my checking account. But I can't get into my account. And she's sitting there. She's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going on. She's walking around. She's upset. She's got her shit down on the floor. She's looking around. And by the way, half of the people in the bank, they're black. And so all of them are just kind of like, oh, is that right? Uh-huh. And she keeps saying it. There's black people. And she was upset and worried, writing things down, very angry. Finally, she's explaining it to the security guard, who also, by the way, is black, trying to get him to understand her point of view. And everybody is just quiet. People are looking at her. And she's just talking about this because she was so worried. Because then she started saying, I don't know where they come from. I don't know if it's like Africa or something, because they didn't come from America. And she's just going off. Like, this lady is completely going off, like straight up. Straight up, she's going ape shit. And everybody's sitting around. Nobody knows what to say. Nobody knows what to do. And it was even more confusing. Because she was black. And everybody didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to do. They were trying to explain to her, like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. And she is walking around. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on. She's so stressed out about this, and she's like trying to explain it to people about how, like, you know, the people here are mixed with slave owners, and it's like these other people are gonna take her money, and like just straight up. And finally, there's the bank manager. You know, like whenever you ever been to the bank and somebody's not happy, and then the bank manager anxiously, almost runs out of their office to prevent, a situation from occurring. Well, the bank manager is walking over to her, trying to solve this problem, right? And he's like, okay, listen, we're going to get you your money. Everything's going to be okay, all right? You're not going to have to worry about anything. You're going to be totally fucking fine. And finally, they calmed her down, and they got her money, and she left. And it was okay. Don't understand how I make a difference for white and black. It's not even colors. Listen, and then the moment that she left, there was the guy that was sitting behind me, and every single time that she said black, she looked right at him. She looked right at him. And so as soon as she walked out of the fucking building, everybody turned around and looked at him, and he just said, damn, that bitch was crazy. And then that was it. That was straight up fucking it. And everybody just laughed that shit off. Fake story? I recorded it. I recorded it. Yeah, I didn't record the entire thing, but I recorded half of it. So yeah, I did. And, I'll have to see if I can, show it. Let me see if I can find the audio. I didn't get the whole thing.
I don't have access to my account. You need to do something. These are real black people. And they have access to my checking account.
Do not ever accuse me of telling a fake story again. Do not ever again in your life accuse me of telling a fake story. I don't tell fake fucking stories. I live in Austin. I don't have to. Yeah, that's what it was. And that was, what's this here? bannable offense, accusing me of fake stories. True. That should be, absolutely. Yeah, it's, fuck it, that's me putting on a voice. That's me. Well, that's a pretty damn good voice, isn't it? Yeah, that's not what it was gonna be. And so that shit happened, and I was at the bank. Nothing got sorted out, obviously, because it's, you know, anytime that you have to deal with the government, you have to assume that the amount of people that are working in the government want it to stay at that number. And so because of that, they have to create artificial roadblocks that prevent you from being able to do what you want. And that's what it was. The U.S. really is a strange place. Listen, in Austin, where I live, like, growing up, people would just, like, whenever I was in high school and middle school, kids would just call each other the N-word, and they never thought anything of it. Because the education was so bad, nobody even knew, like, really, like, what happened, like, the slavery thing, like, what really was that? Nobody had any fucking idea. And so it wasn't until, like, 11th and 12th grade that people kind of had an idea of, like, Jim Crow laws and stuff like that. But before then, people just called each other that for fun. It was crazy. It was absolutely fucking crazy. Or to tell a story, travel in the future. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it's the same. It's the same, I'm sure, now in some places. But yeah, I mean, where I live, like, yeah, it was just shit schooling. Like, nobody knew anything, and that's what happened. Kids just shouted in the bus where I lived, and I knew it meant bad shit. The thing is, like, none of them knew what was bad. None of them even, they didn't even know. Like, they had no idea. They had no idea about, like, the history or the context behind it. They would call the teachers that. And it didn't matter, like, what color the teacher was. They would just say it. And it didn't even matter. Yeah, it was America. Yeah, they just ignored it. It was nuts, man. It's not bad education, it's intentional miseducation. Well, I don't know how it could be. Like, I mean, all the teachers almost were not white, and all the kids that were saying it, most of them were not white too. So I'm not sure where this agenda is coming from, but I know on the ground level, there wasn't really much of an agenda. I'll tell you that. So yeah, there's a million tabs open. The books? No, the books taught it. No. No, see, you are making the assumption that the books had omitted this information. No. The mistake that you are really making is that you assume that people use the books. Oh no. The only thing we use the books for is to throw them out the window. Yeah, nobody used the books. I'll tell you a little story about a certain midterm I took back in high school. And after this, I want to get back into the other Reddit posts because I know I've been going off on a tangent. But I wanted to tell that story because it happened yesterday. So, I took 2 years of American Sign Language. Why did I take American Sign Language? Because I thought it would be the easiest language to learn. And it turns out that it was actually quite hard to learn and it was very complex. Fortunately, neither of my teachers gave a fuck. In my second year of ASL, American Sign Language, our teacher was so fed up, so tired out, so bored, and just completely defeated that she said, in order to pass this midterm, all you have to do is sit there quietly. I'm going to turn off the lights and don't piss me off. That was it. That was the whole thing. And we almost failed. Because what we were doing is we were on the second story. And we were every about 20 minutes or so, we popped the book out the window. Well, guess what? Miss Smith found out about this. She came over. She said, "What the hell are you doing? You could get somebody hurt by throwing them out the window." We said, whoa, wait a minute. We look down below before we throw them out. And we make sure there's nobody down below. We don't want to hit anybody. It's going to be okay. She says, "You make sure every time?" We said, "Yes, every time." She says, "Okay." And she goes back to her desk. and we keep throwing them out the window. So there was another time. This was my my senior year in my broadcasting class, if you can believe that. I took broadcasting in high school. And my teacher came in, and I didn't know this at the time. I didn't learn this until a few years later, but he was high. And I learned that him and his friend, who is also the movie making teacher, that's the way that they were able to put up with us for all these years. Because I remember I would make him mad, and he just wouldn't get mad. He'd just think it was funny. And I was like, how is this man able to handle me? How can this guy deal with me? And so this was the final exam for my senior test in broadcasting. He sits us all down in like an auditorium type thing. It was like a stage type thing that we sat in. And he opens up the test and he says, number 1. Well, he reads out the question. He reads out the answers. And he's like, it sounds like this one's B. What do you guys think? And we're like, you know what? I think it sounds like B too. And we did that for the whole thing. Dylan was in that class. Show me your dick, Dylan was in that class. I'm pretty sure that there was this one really, really dumb guy that actually got a couple wrong. He got a couple of them wrong. Can we get him back on stream? Yeah, we'll get him back on stream someday soon. I hung out with him and his girlfriend. They're getting married soon. And yeah, that's what it was. And you guys like that? Do you guys want one more? Do you guys want one more story? I haven't told this one probably for an entire year. You guys want one more? One more story? Yeah, congrats. All right, one more. So, Algebra 2. Algebra 2 was the make it or break it. Algebra 2 was this was the final exam of high school in my school. There were people in Algebra 2 that were 16 years old and people in Algebra 2 that were 21 years old. This was the wall. Imagine a raid boss in a video game. It was like Painsmith in Sanctum of Domination. It was the wall. If you could beat that boss, you could probably clear the raid. Everybody, it was sludge fist. Yeah, it was sludge fist math. There were people that were hard stuck on Algebra 2 for many, many years. And my teacher, her name was Mrs. Gonzalez or Miss Garcia. I forgot which one. Well, this woman hated me. She should have. It was me and this other guy. His name was Lance. That was the guy that was the crackhead that wanted to take me down to a Juggalo concert in San Antonio one day. And he had lost 200 pounds because he was doing meth. That's Lance, and he was in this class. And there was another guy, and then there was another guy, Marco. And we get to the final exam. And this woman realizes that every single person in the class is going to fail the class. Except for like maybe 3. And this was on top of that, she hated the 4 of us because we would all sit together. And because she hated us, that she would say that, oh, well, you have to be in groups of 3, not groups of 4. So I was in a group with Lance, who was in a group with Marco, who was in a group with the other guy, who was in a group with me. So like really, we're in groups of 3, but the 3 groups kind of connect together. So really, we're in a group of 4. And she was not happy about this, and finally she gave up because she tried to move our desks, and we took Elmer's glue one day whenever she wasn't there, and we just glued our desks to the ground so she couldn't rearrange our desks so we couldn't sit next to each other, and problem fucking solved. So that's what we did. We just glued the desks to the ground, and we sat together for the rest of the year. Well, anyway, last week of school, she gave us a bunch of extra credit because she knew that they were not going to be happy with her if everybody failed the class. I don't know how the math turned out. I have no idea how it went. Was it 32 or 34 bonus points? 32 to 34 bonus points on our final exam for Algebra 2. And these bonus points were made up for passing the federal exam, going to extra credit opportunities after school, and myself and Eric, who was in a different class, and all of the guys like Lance, Marco, everybody, right? We all went in and we did all of the extra credit because God knows we needed it. And to be honest, like, at least some of us in the group, which meant all of us, right? Because we just fucking passed our work around. All of us in the group, we were not really that bad at Algebra 2. We just didn't give a fuck. Like, you want to talk about substitution? Bitch, I'm waiting for a substitute teacher so I can have fun in this class. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about that math shit with numbers. Let me go back to talking to my friend about video games. Like, that's the way I felt about algebra. I said, fuck that. So we get to the final exam with 32 or 34 bonus points. We take the final exam, and the second to last day of school, we go up and we get our test results. I got something like an 85. I did pretty well. With, by the way, plus 34 points. I got an 85. Wow. Lance got somewhere around the same. The other guy, he got something like, I don't know, like a 70. And we look at Marco. We said, Marco, what'd you get? He's laughing. And he's also almost crying. Marco's just, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, man. You know, hey, I'm just glad this class is over. I said, Marco, what'd you get? He says, it is what it is. And he has the paper in his hand. And I pull the paper down so I can see it. Marco got a 32 or a 34 on his exam. And actually, if I remember right, sorry, I was messing my thing up. It went away. If I remember right, he actually didn't even get that. He got like a 25. Because part of the extra credit for like 10 points was to write your name. And Marco forgot to put his last name on the paper. And so she didn't give him credit. Marco graduated. Everything was fine. I saw Marco actually maybe 6 months ago at HEB. He's doing great. Everything's totally fine. Yeah, he's in Congress now. Yeah, he works for the government now. Yeah. He's now the president. Someone promote that guy. Yeah, Marco's still graduated. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Explains the government. I got no idea. And he was walking out, man, with his friend, man. He had a fucking big old case of beer. He's like, man, dude, we gonna be chilling, dude. And so, yeah, I like the most intelligent congressperson. What about Lance, the crack addict? I haven't talked to Lance I haven't seen Lance around for a while, man. Like, I remember back in middle school, Lance was fat. And Jason used to always throw markers at his belly. And then finally, I guess it was too many markers, and Lance went and lost weight. And he was like really good looking guy in high school. And then he got into meth. And then he like grew a beard and he looked like a werewolf. And I'm not sure what he's up to now. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea. What about Jeff? Jeff's chilling, man. Yeah, Jeff's chilling. He's doing okay. When's the last time I see Marco? Probably like 6 months ago, a year ago or something like that. Yeah, I didn't really say hi to him because like it was like I wasn't like 100% sure it was him. I was like 90% sure, right? But like yeah, that was about it. I saw him at a distance at the HEB, man. Is that the guy your dad told lost the weight? No, that was my other friend that got into meth. Yeah, that was somebody else. Lance is now married with kids. I'm not really sure exactly. I don't know. Most of my graduating class in public school had kids by the end of high school. Yeah, we had a police station on campus, and next to the police station, we had a daycare. That's the kind of school I went to. Yeah, that's what it was. And mine is 5 heads. Tell the grape soda story, please. I honestly don't remember which one the grape soda story is. There's like 3 grape soda stories. I don't know which one it was. But tell us when you got into meth. I never got into meth, man. I never. The thing is, whenever I was a kid, I always thought I would grow up and be a drug addict. Because it's like, you know, I would act crazy, and like you see videos and people that are doing drugs are acting crazy. So it's like, yeah, maybe I'll grow up and be a drug addict, right? It just kind of made sense. And I got older and I realized that drugs were expensive and I didn't have money to afford them. So I never got into drugs. That's what it was. Tell the bomb story, please. The bomb story. I feel like I've told the bomb story too recently. Yeah, I'll have to think of another one that's better. But yeah, I've got a lot of these fucking stories, man. I do. And it's like, again, I remember you can afford them now. Why the fuck would I want them now? Like, it's like I feel like people, especially like kids, right? It's like this is how it was in my school. It was like cool if you did drugs. It was like that's what the cool people did is they would like drink at like age 12 or 13 and do drugs. And so, like, yeah, that's what it was. Man, you grew up with some wild animals? Yeah, exactly. They put some of them in cages, though, unfortunately. You know? But, hey, yo, it is what it is.